My best friend's fiancé tried to police my nickname for her and ruined his engagement in 4 messages. So, the cast: I'm 29, my best friend is 29, and her fiancé is 30. They just got engaged last week, and I'm going to be her bridesmaid. Yay! The fiancé is fine. We are not close, but he seems okay. A bit of a socially awkward nerd. Hard to talk to unless you hit one of his topics like work or a specific show, and then the conversation becomes completely one-sided. My best friend and I have known each other since we were 15, basically half our lives. Before she started dating her fiancé, we watched The Wire together. It became our favorite show. After watching it, I started calling her D, her. Name starts with that letter, because we both loved a character with that nickname in the show. Now, I almost always call her D. Last night, I got a completely unexpected message from her fiancé on Facebook. He wrote that since he and D are now engaged, he was politely asking me to stop calling her by that nickname, because it doesn't feel very grown up, and he would really prefer I didn't use it in my speech at the wedding. He also added that he never liked the nickname because the character in the show was killed, and he doesn't want that association tied to his future wife. Now, I'm not the most diplomatic person, so I have no idea how to respond. Honestly, I'm not sure I even should. Part of me wants to say, no problem, man. I'll start calling her Bot. Or maybe Tamer. Oh wait, Snub. Snub actually suits her perfectly. Another part of me wants to just agree, and then use her nickname in every single sentence of my wedding speech. And then there's the downright petty part of me that wants to say, are you serious? Yeah, no. Request denied. Also, you don't get to dictate how I talk to my best friend. There was a weird possessive tone to the whole message. He never once used her name, only my future wife and my fiancé. My best friend is fiercely independent, and I know for a fact she wouldn't like being talked about that way. So maybe I should just forward her the message and write, hey, your fiancé sent me this, and I have no clue how to respond. Oh, and one more detail. We are both bisexual, and yeah, we've kissed. It was just a few times in high school. We said it was to practice for boys. We laugh about it now like, sure, for boys. Totally. It also happened a few more times in college when we were drunk at parties. We even discussed dating once or twice, but we are just too different. We love each other, but we are probably terrible romantic partners, which is why we are such good friends. The last time we even talked about possibly dating was 8 years ago. But now I'm starting to wonder if maybe that history has something to do with this sudden message. I'm 99% sure D doesn't mind me calling her that nickname. She's never been shy about telling me if something bothers her. Would love any advice. Thanks, guys. Update. I just got off the phone with D. She called me, and I started out like I always do. Hey, D. But then I hesitated, thinking maybe she doesn't want me to say it, so I awkwardly stretched it into her full name. She immediately said, my fiancé told you not to call me D, didn't he? I said yes. And she said, what the hell? I can't believe he actually did that. Listen, I have to go. We'll talk later. And don't you dare stop calling me D. As you say, D. We said goodbye and hung up. So yeah, someone just crossed a serious line. Update. The bride's brother, the cousin, the tattoos, and a wedding that's falling apart. D is really close with her older brother, and she wanted him to be one of her bridesmaids. Well, technically he'd be a bridesman or something like that, whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, he was supposed to be part of the bridal party. Turns out, he also got a message from the fiancé. The message said that that wasn't going to happen, because the wedding was going to be traditional. So her brother was being replaced by the groom's sister, a woman who lives across the country and has met D maybe 4 times total. Then D's cousin got a message too. It said that because of her lifestyle, she's into girls, she would no longer be part of the wedding ceremony. However, if she came to the wedding without her wife, they might reconsider letting her participate. Another bridesmaid, OD, who has short hair, a nose piercing, and some small but visible tattoos, was also removed from the bridal party unless she agreed to change her appearance to something more appropriate. And then there was me. Apparently, the fiancé couldn't find anything else to nitpick, So he just decided to lecture me about using a nickname or whatever. I had no idea any of this was happening. I was just sitting at home, minding my own business, until DS brother called her and went, "What the hell is going on?" Naturally, she was completely confused. So he explained and forwarded her the message. She immediately called her fiancé, who was out with his friends, and demanded an explanation. He calmly confirmed, yes, he had sent that message to her brother and to the rest of the bridal party. Then he explained his reasons. Right. On cue, DS' phone started blowing up with messages from her cousin, which isn't surprising, because that poor girl got probably the nastiest message out of everyone. D told her fiancé, "You need to come home. Right now." She hung up and called her cousin to calm her down, then called me. We spoke briefly. Then she called her tattooed friend. By that point, about half an hour had passed since her first call to the fiancé, and he still hadn't come home. So she called again. "Where are you? Come home. Now." He said, "No, I'm not coming home right now. I'm out with my friends, and I'll come back when I feel like it." And then added, "You're being too emotional. I expect you to stop acting like a child by the time I get back." She was so furious she just hung up. He eventually dragged himself home, and she exploded. He kept telling her to stop being irrational and to think logically, and she literally snapped and said, "What the hell are you talking about? Nothing about what you did was logical or rational." Then he started rambling about how weddings aren't just for the bride, and how he's not one of those guys who thinks the wedding is all about her. For him, this event was about uniting both families and their friends. He said he couldn't allow people like her friends to stand in front of his family and his colleagues. What would they think of his professional reputation? He's apparently some hotshot lawyer. What will his parents say when they see her friend? With a nose piercing? Or me, using some silly nickname during the speech? By that point, Dee was so angry she tried to kick him out. But he just sighed, plopped down on the couch, and said, "You're being ridiculous. I'm not going anywhere. You need to calm down." So she left. As she was packing a bag, he kept dramatically sighing and shouting across the apartment things like, "You're being so emotional. Calm down." And so on. She came to my place absolutely livid and asked if she could stay the night. Of course I said yes. And when she arrived, she told me everything that had happened. At some point while we were talking, she put her hands over her face and just started sobbing. She said she'd known for a while that something was wrong in the relationship. He'd go to work, hang out with his boring lawyer friends, come home, watch TV, go to bed. Their conversations had become painfully one-sided. He'd talk endlessly about things she had zero interest in. And when she tried to change the subject, he'd just wait for her to stop talking, then pick back up, like she hadn't said anything at all. He never helped around the apartment, because cleaning wasn't as important to him as it was to her, so she should just do it. It'll just get messy again anyway. He'd stopped holding her hand in public. If she was upset or feeling bad, he always found a reason to leave. Honestly, the list just went on and on. He's a cold, selfish, __. Honestly, I got bad vibes from him from the start. See my earlier post about how hard he is to talk to unless it's about something he likes. But I never expected this level of awful. She's been texting with him since last night and this morning. He kept repeating the same crap. "You're being childish. Come home." She told him she wasn't being childish, that their relationship had a real problem, and she didn't think they could move forward without premarital counseling. He replied, "Fine. So are you coming home tonight or not?" She didn't reply for a few hours. When she read that message, she curled up on my couch, pulled her knees to her chest, and said, "I really don't want to go back to that apartment." Later, she admitted she feels like even if they did go to therapy, nothing would change. She can already imagine him charming the therapist and twisting things to convince her she's just being irrational. I asked, "So, does that mean the wedding's off?" She burst into tears again. I immediately felt terrible for asking. Probably shouldn't have. I just hugged her and kept repeating, "It's okay. You don't have to answer that right now." Once she calmed down, She decided she'd spend one more night away and texted him about it. He still hasn't replied. Out of curiosity, I asked her if she thought his message to me had anything to do with the fact that we kissed years ago. She said no, she never told him she's bisexual. She doesn't feel comfortable sharing that with him. Then she cried. Again. She admitted that maybe that alone is a sign that the relationship was doomed from the beginning. So anyway, today Dee and I both took the day off work, ate ice cream, drank daytime alcohol, went on a long walk, and she cried a lot and talked. Even more. Now all the bridesmaids, including her brother, are at my place. They've been texting her all day, checking in. I told her that if she's up for it, she should let them know they can come over. At first, she said no. She was embarrassed and didn't think she could face them. I shut that down fast. You have nothing to be ashamed of. None of this is your fault. It's all on your fiancé. Took a bit more convincing and a few promises of extra booze and ice cream, but now they're all here. Her cousin showed up with her wife, and as soon as they walked in, Dee burst into tears again and started apologizing to both of them. They said there was nothing to apologize for, but she apologized anyway. Tonight she's staying with her brother. I told her she could stay here, but his place actually has guest rooms and, you know, a real house. Not my tiny little apartment. Her brother's cooking her favorite dinner. The fridge is stocked with about 20 pints of ice cream and more vodka and wine than I can count. We are just trying to be here for her as much as we can. Now let's move on to the next story. My girlfriend left me because of her coworkers. My girlfriend just broke up with me because of her coworkers. Kate and I were together for 5 years, and before that, we dated on and off for another 2 years. Many of my firsts in life happened with her. We went to prom together, school dances, supported each other during hard times. I always knew that Kate was out of my league, and I tried my best to make her feel safe and confident with me. I was in love with her and wanted a future together. I enrolled in college and earned 2 degrees, and Kate went to cosmetology school. We were planning to move in together in the coming months and had already talked about marriage and kids. In the last couple of months, she started saying things like, "My coworkers keep asking why I'm even with you. So-and-so thinks we are not a good match. My coworkers want me to hang out with them and meet new people." Every time I asked her what she thought about it, she said she loved me, ignored them, and told them to stop. But according to her, the coworkers didn't stop. We always had open communication. We talked about everything. We never had serious fights, just small arguments about things like movies, shows, food. We didn't hide anything from each other. These comments began after she got the job at that beauty salon. Only women work there. Kate never cheated on me, neither physically nor emotionally. She didn't hide her location, didn't have secret chats. Just a few days ago, we had an amazing date, and the evening turned out great. When I dropped her off at home, she suddenly said she was having doubts about our relationship and wanted to break up. I was in complete shock. I didn't say anything, just slowly walked away. I'm sure this is all because of her coworkers, because of their words and pressure. She even wrote it herself in a message. Less than 4 hours later, she started calling and texting me. She asked for forgiveness, said she didn't mean it, that she loved me and that she was stupid for listening to her new friends. She said she would quit and find a new job, stop talking to coworkers and work friends. I haven't responded yet. It's hard for me. I love her. A custom ring is being made for her right now, and I've already saved money for our future home. 85% of our friends are mutual. The rest are from her work. Most of our mutual friends have already found out about the breakup and are just as confused as I am. Judging by some of the messages I received, Kate told them the truth, that her coworkers started planting doubts in her head about our relationship, and she foolishly gave in. Her parents also tried to contact me, asking what had happened. We've always been close. I've completely gone silent. Thankfully, I can work remotely. Yesterday, I left my apartment with my laptop and found a nice place with good internet. To keep working. I feel lost. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't understand how to act now. I need advice and suggestions. Update 1. After I published the post, my boss sent me an urgent message asking if we could jump on a Zoom call. I agreed. When I turned on the video, there were 2 cops standing behind him. Turns out, someone They didn't reveal who. Ask them to do a wellness check on me. They came to my apartment, but I wasn't there. Then they came to the office, but I wasn't there either. My boss knew I worked remotely, so he called me. I had to explain that I was okay. I had just turned off my phone because of all this crap. Also, tonight I'm going to talk to her parents. Kate, update 2. There was no meeting yesterday evening. I moved it to today. Life really knows how to kick you when you're already down. While I was going through missed calls last night, I came across a voicemail. They said my ring would be ready today, Friday. Most likely, the next update will be tomorrow or Sunday. Update 3. My girlfriend, the one I've been with for many years, just broke up with me because of her coworkers. They decided I wasn't good enough for her, that I didn't meet her level. Thank you all for the messages and comments. The last few days have been emotionally exhausting. On Friday, I finally went through all the voice and text messages. In total, 61 missed calls, 4 of them from the police, 14 voice messages, 417 text messages. I sent out a general reply to everyone who tried to reach me, that I was safe and okay, but needed time and space to deal with personal things. I picked up the ring since it was already paid for, and put it into the box I made myself. I ended up going to her parents' place. As soon as I arrived, Kate ran out of the house. She was crying. When she hugged me, I didn't push her away. But it wasn't like before. Then she tried to kiss me. I turned my head away and stepped back. We went inside and sat down. We sat in silence for about 10 minutes. Then she started crying again and said she was sorry. I just replied, okay. I asked what she told everyone. She said, the truth. I asked, who called the police? For the wellness check. She said it wasn't her. Our friends, after hearing about the breakup and not being able to reach me for more than 24 hours, decided to request a check. I asked Kate many of the questions people here suggested. I asked why she broke up with me. She didn't give a clear answer. She said people around her kept trashing me and feeding her doubts. I asked why she let it happen, why she didn't set firm boundaries. She said she tried, but it only worked for a day or so, and then everything went back to how it was. I asked how she could break up with me over what some stranger said. She said she regretted it and that it was a stupid decision. I asked how often they talked about me and where they even got their ideas. Turned out the women at the salon overheard Kate chatting with friends or clients at work about me, about our dates, birthdays, and so on. I asked if she believed her coworkers were right. She said, no. I asked, why? She said she didn't know. I asked if she had someone else. She immediately said no, and that she never cheated, not even in her thoughts. She offered to show me her phone. I declined. Then I told her, a simple I'm sorry isn't enough. If she wanted to save this relationship, she would have to prove it. I didn't care what her coworkers said. The pain didn't come from their words. It came from the fact that she absorbed them and threw them back at me. She didn't try hard enough to stop it. Which means maybe, deep down, she believed them too. That's what hurt and broke the trust. Her own insecurity ruined everything. Now I'll always wonder, will she run again next time something hard happens? She asked, why did you just walk away then? I told her, in that moment, those 2 sentences from her were enough to break me. I reevaluated everything, my whole life, and the future I had planned with her. I was trying. I had made steps toward that future. She started sobbing harder. And then I did something I regret. I asked her if she knew I had planned to propose. She said no. I took out the box I made myself. It had 2 buttons, yes and no. Inside, tiny lights and the words, will you be my life partner? I placed it on the table and pressed yes. The box opened. She cried even harder. The ring had our birthstones forming a heart, small diamonds around the edge, our initials engraved, and our anniversary date. I designed it so we could add more stones for each child we might have. Her parents were nearby. Her mom was crying. Her dad looked angry, but not at me. I told Kate that the future I planned no longer existed. We need to give each other space. At least 3 months with no contact. We both need to take a step back and rethink who we are and what we want from life. After that, We'll see where we are. But from now on, it'll all be on my terms and my timeline. The ring can't be returned. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll give it to her in the end, if after 3 or more months. Things are truly over. She said most of our mutual friends had scolded her and blocked her. Her parents were angry. Her little sister hasn't spoken to her since. I told her I was sorry, but actions have consequences. I wished her well, thanked her parents for everything they'd done for me, and hugged them. I knocked on her sister's door. I've known her my whole life. I thanked her, hugged her, and left. I have 4 months left on my current lease. I might move out when it's up. Tonight I'm spending time with a good friend, Mr. Johnny Walker. But only tonight. Tomorrow, I'll start putting my life back together. I don't know if there will be another update. And by the way, I was supposed to propose tonight. Don't know if anyone will read this, but if things hadn't gone to hell, I would have proposed to her at midnight tonight. Our first date was on a leap day. We would have gotten married on the next leap year. Update 4. Hi, everyone. This is a continuation of the story. Many of you wrote and asked how I'm doing and whether there would be another update. Thank you all for your support and kindness. This might be my last update regarding this situation. I'll try to lay everything out in order. After the last update, I tried to rebuild my life. I barely spoke to Kate. I did what I promised. I worked on myself, attended sessions with my therapist. We've been working together for a long time, and I spent time with friends who helped me get back on my feet. And it really helped. I got to a point where I didn't think about okay 24/7. There were moments where the pain came back, but overall, I started returning to myself. I also threw myself into work. My therapist said that wasn't entirely healthy, so I returned to a normal schedule. As for Kate, I learned a few things about her too. She started therapy as well. She quit her job in such a way that all bridges with her former co-workers were completely burned. Now she has a completely different job in another field, and she's planning to apply to college in the spring. She's been talking to our mutual friends. They didn't reject her and were there for her when she needed it. And then I ran into Kate a few weeks after the breakup. My heart sank. She didn't look like the Kate I knew anymore. Tired, drained. She was with other friends, and I immediately realized that her smile and laughter were fake. She didn't notice me. And, you know what? I didn't feel sad. The ring is still with me. I keep it in a safe place. I managed to repropose the ring box and gave it to a friend. He wanted to use it to propose. He said I should sell it, but I refused to take money. So, in general, things were getting better. I strictly followed one rule: no contact. But, as always, life had its own plans. A few things got in the way. We ended up seeing each other twice. The first time, her little sister's school play. I pinky promised her I'd come, and I don't break those promises. The second time, a mutual friend's birthday. We kept our distance, exchanged a few words, just blended in with everyone else. But everything changed about a week ago. I still barely remember that day. But here's what my friends told me. Update 5. About a month ago, I started getting migraines, pain right behind my eyes. It would blur my vision. I thought it was just stress from everything that had happened lately, so I ignored it. One day, I was out with 2 friends. We were chatting, walking around stores. I didn't feel great, but I was still trying to enjoy it. They say we were just walking, and suddenly I slowed down, stumbled, and almost face-planted into the ground. One of them caught me. Then I had a seizure, lasted about a minute. Someone called an ambulance, and I was rushed to the hospital. To keep it short, they ran a bunch of tests. Turns out I have a brain tumor. I think it's called a glioma. Doctors believe they can remove it. Right now, we are waiting for a second opinion. I'm still in the hospital and should find out the surgery date soon. My friends contacted everyone they could, including Kate and her family. She came with them. I missed them. She was the first person I thought of when I woke up and learned my diagnosis. Over the past week, we've had many real, deep conversations. Right now, she's my only approved visitor. She sleeps right here, in that awful fold-out chair bed. I don't know what we are now, but I still care about her. I still love her. As for the future, When my lease is up, I won't renew it. Her family invited me to stay with them, so they can take care of me if the surgery goes well. I thought about it a long time, and I agreed. I won't be able to drive for a while. Honestly, I'm scared. But I have a reliable support team around me. All my affairs, in case the worst happens, are in order. Thank you for reading this far. I wish you all a great day, or week, or month, or year, or life. Please, do one thing for me. Tell the people you love that you love them. Hug them for me. You never know what life will throw at you. Update 6, from Kate. Hi, this is Kate. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. He already had the surgery. The surgeon believes they removed most of the tumor, maybe even all of it. The operation lasted a little over 8, maybe 12 hours. They said there were minor complications, but they brought him back. He's currently stable but in the ICU. Please send him your warm thoughts and prayers. I just want to say, I love this man more than anything in the world. I know I messed up. I was stupid a few months ago. But I truly mean it when I say, every day, for the rest of my life, I will prove to him that I love him and that I want to make things right. I know to you, he's a stranger. But please, keep him in your thoughts. Right now, the most important thing is for him to get better. Thank you. That's all, unfortunately. There are no more updates. This story really reminded me of our beloved Mark, in whose memory this t-shirt was made. If you haven't seen the video about Mark, you definitely should. The video is called Do You Even Know Who I Am?, where he stood up to an arrogant boss after a project worth $800,000 collapsed because of him. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It also has a very interesting and unexpected ending. As for my personal opinion about Kate, yes, she was misguided. Yes, she's clearly very susceptible to others' opinions. But maybe, just maybe, she deserves to be forgiven. It's obvious she's insecure, and that'll probably cause issues again in the future. But even so, you can tell she truly loves the author. Because if she didn't, I don't believe she would be sleeping beside him in a hospital room after everything that happened. As they say, true friends show up when times are tough. Well, the bad times came, and we saw who ran in first. And, not to mention, who was the first person the author thought of when he woke up? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with me? Or do you have a different opinion? I'd love to read it. Thanks for watching this video until the end. Check out our previous video. Wishing you all the best.